AI voice agents. They're what everybody's talking about right now, and if you haven't heard about them yet, you will soon. Businesses are rapidly switching from having humans handle phone calls to having AI voice agents handle phone calls, and here's why. They answer every single phone call, they work 24/7, they organize details from every call automatically, they work for about a third of a traditional human salary. They connect to any system your business is already using, like a CRM or a calendar, and most importantly, they sound and behave just like real humans, and that behavior and that sound is only going to get better as the technology gets better. My name is Anthony. I've been building AI voice agents for 6 months. I've been in online business for 2 years. I knew AI voice agents was an instant hit, so I started building and selling them. Now I have an AI startup selling AI voice agents that is investor funded. Let's do a live call with this AI voice agent I built for a med spa so you can see what I'm talking about.
Thank you for calling IV Fusion. This is Emma. How can I help you?
Hi, I was wondering if I can book an appointment.
Absolutely. I can help you with that. What are you coming in for?
Laser treatment.
Great. Can I have your name for the appointment?
Yeah, it's gonna be Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. Is the number you're calling from the best one to use for the appointment?
Yeah, actually this number's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. Do you have a preferred specialist you'd like to request for your laser treatment?
Yeah, I heard Dr. Khan is really good.
Excellent choice. What day and time works best for your appointment with Dr. Khan?
Can we do tomorrow at 1 p.m.?
Let me check availability for tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Dr. Khan. One moment, please. All set. Your appointment for laser treatment with Dr. Khan is booked for tomorrow at 1 p.m. We look forward to seeing you. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Nope, thank you.
Thank you for calling IV Infusions. Have a great day.
Okay, now let's actually check the appointment to see the details that it included. Anthony, laser treatment, Wednesday, it's currently Tuesday, 1 p.m., and preferred specialist, Dr. Khan. Now what just happened is that AI voice agent booked an appointment directly into the med spa's already existing calendar. If you're looking for an entry point into AI, or you're already into AI voice agents and you just want to learn more, this video is going to be perfect because we're going to be building an agent live that requires no prior experience or coding. We're going to be setting up an end-to-end workflow that can connect to any calendar, and I'm going to show you guys my marketing method that actually got me my first few clients. However, if you do want to skip the actual building part, I will be downloading the Retell AI agent, the end-to-end workflow, and the call script I used, uploading them all into my school group. From there, you can download all three and implement them straight into your business. However, my school group is not free. I only give my time and templates to those who are actually serious about learning and selling. The link will be down in the description. You can check it out from there. All right, so we're gonna be using Retell AI to actually build the AI voice agent. If you're unfamiliar with Retell, that's fine. This is going to be a simple beginner's guide that'll be easy to follow. However, if you are familiar with Retell, you're one step ahead of the curve. Once you log in, you're gonna be brought to the main dashboard. We're already in the agent section, and on the left-hand side are a bunch of other sections that kind of tie into the agent section itself. So we have knowledge base, phone numbers, batch call history, chat history, analytics, billing, and settings. We're gonna be in the agent section 95% of the time. So we're gonna come up to the top right to create an agent, do voice agent, single prompt agent, start from blank, and hit create. Now that we're inside of the agent dashboard itself, let's get to configuring it. So first, we're gonna name it. You can name it whatever you like. We're just gonna name it after the business that we built for. So that's all set. Now we have the LLM, the voice, and the language. We're gonna leave everything here the same, except we're gonna come into the little settings icon over here, and we're going to lower voice temperature to 0.8. The females tend to have a lot of randomness, so lowering voice temperature helps with that. If you're in another country or you're building and the business wants the AI to speak another language, you can literally just select it here and that's it. The AI will pick up whatever language is being spoken to it and speak that language back if you have it selected. Now, coming down to the prompt, to actually configure the prompt, we're gonna let ChatGPT do most of the heavy lifting here. Once you're inside ChatGPT, we're gonna say something like the following. Create a complete system prompt for a voice agent. We're going to list the business name right here. The prompt should include a role, general rules, knowledge base, appointment booking, list what comes inside of the appointment booking, transfers, multi-shot examples, and a closing section. The functions we're going to be using are transfer call, end call, and book appointment GCal. Deliver the final result in a clean.md copy block. This line is very important. If you're not familiar with what .md is, it's markdown format. It's basically its own language. So like Python is its own language, English is its own language, .md markdown is its own language. And it's what LLMs read best. So it's going to result in the lowest latency when it comes to how fast your AI voice agent actually responds over the phone, and the best accuracy, because the LLM is going to be able to read your instructions and commands easier. One more thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the business's website that we're building for, and we're going to copy their URL, and we're going to paste it in ChatGPT. And by doing so, what ChatGPT is going to do is automatically scrape their website for all their information. We're going to hit send and let ChatGPT cook up. Now we're going to take the prompt that ChatGPT created, come back into Retell, and we're just going to paste it straight into the prompt section and hit save. I just looked through the entire prompt and there's nothing we're going to change. It actually looks pretty good. So we're going to come down to the welcome message next, and we're going to do AI speaks first. We're going to be doing a custom message, not a dynamic message. And we're going to type in, thank you for calling IB Fusion. This is Taylor. How can I help you? So we said, thank you for calling. And then the business name, we gave the AI agent a name, Taylor. And we said, how can I help you? Next, we're going to come up to pause before speaking. I'm going to bring this up to like 0.6. This is because you want to give the AI a second to kind of parse through the entire prompt before it speaks. If you have it set to 0.0, then it's just going to speak the second the call is answered, and it's just not going to be as accurate as if you were to give it some time to actually read the entire thing before speaking. Now, coming over to the functions, Retell already configured the end call function for us, which is great, but they didn't do much for us. It's kind of simple. There's just a name and a description, and the description is even optional. Next, we're going to do the call transfer node. So we can leave the name, we can leave the description. You're going to want to put in the business's actual phone number here. And then you want to come to warm transfer, and you're going to want to scroll down to whisper message, leave it on prompt and write, say hello to business and let them know who is calling and why. This tells the AI to come on the phone first when it transfers. Let the business know who is calling and why. So for example, if a call is transferred from the AI to the business, AI hits the business line first and says, hey, I got John calling. He's trying to refund his last order. I'm going to connect him now. And then it's going to connect John to the business. We're going to hit save. And then we're going to add the now book appointment function. So that's going to have to be a custom function. We're going to have to add a name. So the name that we chose was book appointment GCal. If you remember, we configured that in the prompt when we stated functions, transfer call, end call, and book appointment. So that's where that's coming from. The description, we're going to write, invoke when the caller wants to book an appointment. Now, we're going to have to leave this right now. We can't even update it. We can't save it because it won't let us. We need to put in an API endpoint and parameters. So in order to do that, we have to get started on the N8N workflow. Once you're inside of N8N, just come to the top right and create a workflow. It's going to bring you to a blank canvas. So we have to add a webhook trigger first because we need that API endpoint. I know N8N can be confusing, so I'm going to keep this simple and beginner friendly so that you can understand exactly what is going on here. On the right-hand side, we're going to be selecting on webhook call. We're going to copy the URL just by clicking it. We're changing the method from get to post. These are very simple. Get means you're pulling. Post means you're putting. So we're making appointments, we're putting appointments. The path we're going to leave, the authentication we're going to leave, and then the respond, we're going to switch to respond to webhook node. And then we're just going to go back to Canvas. We can now go into Retell and paste that API key right into this API endpoint field. Now we have to fill in the parameters. The parameters are the details that you are sending from the phone call to N8N. So obviously we need to send certain details to N8N so that they can forward those details to Google Calendar. You need some information to actually book an appointment, or else Google Calendar is going to tell you, no, F off, you didn't give me what you need in order to actually book an appointment. I'm not booking anything. So the only things that we actually need to book an appointment are a title, a start time, and an end time. Now the good part is that Retell automatically creates those fields for you. So if you remember, in the prompt, we have it set to collect certain information. We have it set to collect the purpose of the appointment, the name of who is booking the appointment, the phone number from who's booking the appointment, if they have a specialist preference, and the date and time. Now, the only ones that are actually required here are a name or phone number, you can pick either one, and then the date and time. What that is going to do is if we use name, it's going to use the name for the title of the appointment. If we only do phone number, it's going to use phone number as the title for the appointment. We can pick whatever we want as the title for the appointment. We just need something. And then the date and time is going to configure the start time and the end time. So when someone says, oh, 2 p.m., Retell is going to automatically configure start time, end time, and it's going to send that information over to N8N. But it's only going to send that information over if we configure these parameters correctly. So again, we're going to have ChatGPT to come in clutch here and actually configure the parameters for us. Now, inside of ChatGPT, we're going to say create a JSON schema for a Retell AI function that books a Google Calendar event through N8N. The schema must have the 4 string fields: summary, description, start time, end time. Use standard JSON schema format with type, object, properties, section for those 4 fields, and a required array including all 4. Output the schema only. Now, this is completely customizable to whatever your use case is. If you're using VAPI AI, say VAPI AI. If you're using Outlook Calendar, say Outlook Calendar. If you're using make.com, say make.com. This looks perfect. We're going to take this schema and we're going to go back into Retell and paste it right here where it says enter JSON schema, and we're going to hit update. Now we're going to go back into ChatGPT for one more thing. We're going to say, create an example of what this payload may look like. I want appointment titles to be formatted as follows: the name plus the purpose. And what we're doing here is providing Retell AI with an example of what we want the actual appointment title to look like, so it formats it before it sends the information over. We're going to come into the appointment booking section, just write booking format example. We're going to hit enter twice, and we're going to paste that exact example inside of the prompt and hit save. Now, one more note, before we exit Retell AI, you need to go into the book appointment cal function and turn on payload args only. What this does is it changes the payload, the block of information that's being sent from Retell to N8N, to only include what you have right here. If you have payload args only off, then it's going to include a massive payload with a bunch of stuff that Retell is going to include that we ultimately don't need. So this is a filter button, essentially. Now we're ready to head into N8N and finish this workflow. So inside of N8N, we're going to be connecting a create an event Google Calendar module to the webhook module. So we're going to search Google Calendar and we're going to do create an event. First thing you're going to have to do is sign in using the Google credentials that the business gives you, their username and password. We're going to leave resource as event, and we're going to leave operation as create because we're creating an event. Calendar, leave it as from list, and then once you're signed in, you should be able to do a drop down and select the email that you're signed in with. Now, here's where a lot of people get confused and they go wrong. We don't have the proper fields that we need here. N8N automatically puts in these fields, but if we were to run this workflow right now, it's going to book the appointment for right now. It's not going to book for the selected time that the person is trying to book for. However, we don't have any input data yet as it states. To get input data, very simple. We just need to run a test call. Before we test the workflow, we need to add the last node, which is the respond to webhook node. So we'll hit the plus here, type in webhook, and just click the respond to webhook module. This is already configured properly. We can leave that as is. Now, basically how this is set up is the information is sent to the webhook. The webhook tries to book an appointment using the create an event module, and then depending on success or failure, it lets this last webhook know, and this last webhook lets the original webhook know what the actual outcome was, and that information is sent back to Retell, success or fail. Now we can go ahead and test this. So we're going to hit execute workflow, and now N8N is waiting for data. It's basically saying, feed me, I need some information in order for this workflow to actually work. We're going to come back over to Retell. We're going to do a test chat, and we're going to manually talk to it because this is a free way of testing the Retell agent, and it's the quickest. Okay, we asked for tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're going to come over to the workflow, and we can see that this ran perfectly. However, if we come over to Google Calendar, we can see that it booked for right now. Now, to fix that, we need to come into the create an event module, and we need to update the start time and the end time. So we're going to delete what's currently in there, and we're going to scroll down to body. This is the information that we told it to collect. If you remember in the JSON schema, we said do a summary, a description, a start time, and an end time. So we're going to drag the start time into the start section. We're going to delete what N8N put as the default in the end section, and we're going to add the end variable into the end field. Now, in order to actually customize the title and add the additional information, such as do you have a preferred specialist that you want to see, we're going to hit add field, and we're going to do description because we did description, and we're just going to drag that in there. And we're going to add another field, and we're going to do summary, and we're going to drag summary because we also collected summary. If you want to collect more information, you can easily do that. Make sure you tell ChatGPT the information you want to collect. So we told ChatGPT, again, summary, description, start time, end time. You can add as many parameters as you want. Just make sure you have ChatGPT format it correctly, and then put it into the function inside Retell. And it will, if you have args on only, it will show up right here in the body section for you to just drag into the Google Calendar module. Now that that's configured, and it ends giving us a little warning saying, hey, you changed some stuff. Stuff's going to be different when you test it. So let's test it again. So we're going to hit execute workflow. So it's waiting for more information. We're going to come back into Retell. We're going to do a new test. Okay, we're going to say tomorrow at 3 p.m., please. And then we're going to come into the workflow, and boom, you can see how it panned out. Let's go into the Google Calendar. As you can see, the Anthony Lazarus appointment is booked for 3 p.m. tomorrow, just like we requested. Like I stated earlier in the video, if you want this exact agent, I'm going to download this agent from Retell, and I'm also going to download the workflow from N8N, upload them into the My Template section inside my school group, and from there you can download them and just implement them straight into your business. In every video I create, I download the build and upload it into the My Template section in my AI circle. Now that your agent is configured, your workflow is configured, the last thing we need to do is actually attach a phone number to the agent to make it live. So what you're gonna have to do is come inside of Retell, go back to the home, come down to phone numbers, and you're going to want to hit the plus sign up here, buy a new number, and rent a number for $2 a month. They have a bunch of numbers. You can even pick one using your area code, which is nice. Once you have your number, you're gonna come back into the agent, come over to the top right, hit publish, inbound phone number, select a phone number, and hit publish again. If you're doing an outbound voice agent, same process, just to outbound and attach the phone number. Hit publish in the bottom right. Once that's finished loading, your agent is live. Every time anyone calls that phone number, your AI voice agent will answer the phone. Now that the building is complete, let's talk about how you can actually sell AI voice agents and get your first clients as quick as possible. This strategy I'm about to show you is a goldmine because you're basically going to be feeding people who already have their hand out waiting for food. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Come to Indeed.com. You can also use LinkedIn. And you're going to search for companies that are already looking for front desk workers or receptionists. These are people that are in need for people to answer their phones. For this specific scenario, I looked up med spa receptionist, and all I had to do was make 3 calls until I found IV Fusion, clicked on their job posting, I looked them up on Google, and I gave them a phone call. Now, it wasn't for this actual location, it was for a different location. Once I got on the phone with them, I used my cold call script that I've been using for a while. It's been fine-tuned over a long period of time and through a lot of calls. I take a lot of pride in the call script. So again, I will be downloading this script and uploading it into my school group for people who are serious about building and selling AI to actually download and use for themselves. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was simple enough to follow. There are a lot of moving pieces that cause little issues when trying to build either the agent or the workflow. However, once you kind of kink out those issues, you're going to be able to build any voice agent for any use case, and you're going to be able to build any workflow connecting to any CRM, calendar. It's going to become very repetitive and routine. Once you iron out those little kinks, get that process down, you're going to be building and selling like crazy. AI voice agents really is the best place to start if you're just getting into AI and you also want to make some money. Ultimately, when you're selling, you want to be selling a good product, right? So you have one right here in front of you. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to learn more about AI voice agents, AI in general, and how to make money in this whole process. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your journey.